On this exercise, you're going to need a band to put around your knees here. And this band right here is just telling my hips that when I'm doing the exercise, I want them to fire. So we want to keep a little tension in it the whole time we're doing this. It'll also give your hip a little bit of assistance to work. You want to have a chair and something to hold on to in front of you, like a rope suspension system, like a TRX. And so I'm going to go feet about shoulder width apart here. And all I'm going to work on is squatting. But if you have a chair, it gives you a really good cue on how to come up and down from this squat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up trying to use putting less pressure on my knees, a little bit more pressure on my hips. It's a bigger joint, bigger muscle groups back here than right in front of the knee. So as I come up, I'm holding on. I kind of want to lean forward. My chest is going to be towards the ground. If I do that, I am going to put myself in more hip flexion and less knee flexion, so my hips are going to want to fire versus my quads. So I'm here leaning forward. I'm going to drive through my heels to stand up, and all I'm trying to do is squeeze my butt cheeks as I come up and bring my pelvis forward. And the same thing when I sit down. It's just as important when you sit down, not to make sure that we're breaking forward here at the knees, that we're going to bend and stick our butt out. But as we do that, if we don't bring our chest forward, we're really going to use our back, and our quads are going to want to fire. So what we're going to do is bend here at the hips, chest towards the ground, and I'm going to try to lower myself down, and my weight shifts towards my heels as I come down. So again, we're going to do this again. We're going to lean forward, and the reason we're leaning forward, our chest is forward, is to get that increase in hip flexion. I'm going to push through my heels, squeeze my buttocks, and as I do that, I don't want my knees to migrate forward. I want to keep my knees in the same position. The knees really don't move hardly at all. It's just the pelvis. So as I drive through my heels, I'm bringing my pelvis forward, squeezing my buns. Same thing on the way back down. The knees don't move a whole lot. They're going to move passively, bend and extend, but as far as where they are in space, we don't want to see a big migration here. If you're experiencing knee pain when you do this exercise, I do want you to see if when you stand up or sit down, if those knees aren't migrating forward, because if you do, you will experience an increase in knee pain if you have knee pain to start off with. So we'll do a few together. We're just going to sit back, chest towards the floor again. I'm going to push through my heels, keeping my knees apart. Squeeze my buttocks, and then I'm just going to bring my pelvis forward, and then I can stand up tall. Again, the first movement that happens when I come back down into this position is I'm going to stick my booty out, and then I'm going to go ahead and help lower myself down. Perfect. Now, if you want to take this to a little bit harder variation, you can do what I call hovering. So we're going to do where weight's going to be pushed through our heels, and we're coming up right here, and I'm just going to hold myself. I'm really having to squeeze my buttocks here to hold myself up. My thighs are definitely contracting, but I'm also holding myself up with the TRX. And then if you want to, you can do little weight shifts to the right and to the left. And what you're going to feel is you are going to feel that your hip's going to kick in a little bit more. You will feel some quad, but you really should feel the hip, and you should experience no knee pain. If you are experiencing a little bit of knee pain, again, make sure those knees aren't migrating too far forward, but you also don't have to go down all the way down. You can come into a little mini squat here and experience that same muscle contraction that you're looking for in those glutes and those hips without having that extreme of knee flexion.